Welcome to another episode of Campfire Thoughts. My name is Adrian and I am your host. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Russell Herndon from twitch.tv/Chet Lowry. We're going to be doing a Discord call during this entire podcast, so some of the audio may be a little choppy and may be a little muffled, but if you can bear through it, I guarantee you will enjoy the episode. Thank you for listening. Let's begin the podcast.
I'm not insane. I'm not insane. I'm not insane!
Sweet but tangy sense.
Is it dry?
No, it's actually very sweet. If you want to give it a shot.
No.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Campfire Thoughts. I am your host, Adrian. Today I got with us my co-host, Seth, and our special guest, Russ.
Greetings.
Russ was with us on our third episode of the podcast.
I was fucking destroyed on that episode. I could barely talk.
Yeah, you were fucking lit. We had way too much to drink and we had way too many fucking bowls and dabs.
Yeah, it was a good time though.
It was a very good time. Well, if you guys want to hear some more of Russell, you can find him on twitch.tv/Chet_Lowry. That's Laory. Does video game twitching every day. Lately he's been doing, Valiant?
Yeah, I'm playing Valorant right now. I play some kind of like older retro games, retro emulation, and games like Quake and clones of Quake, Dusk, Doom, things like of that nature.
Ooh, very fun rage quitting. I can see you get very mad. I think a couple of days ago you almost threw your entire setup out your window.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's the quality content we're looking for.
We need
as consumers.
We need like the hormone monster. We need.
There are times where, I mean, like the games are just trying me so much so that like the migraine started coming on an hour dedicated to seeing it through. I'll just like sit there trying to get past the level as my headache gets worse and worse without just like stopping for 5 minutes to take like Excedrin for it. It's a good time. It's a great way to stay in shape.
Great way to shape. So what other hobbies are you doing during the quarantine?
Oh god.
Russ is coming out in here with the small tiny hands.
I was horrified. I thought that was your actual hand.
I kind of had a feeling it wasn't. There was no tattoos.
I know. It's like, what happened? Why does it look like a...
Yeah, I have a tiny hand that it looks like my hand, but without tattoos. It's so I can fake a tattoo removal. What have I been doing in quarantine? Honestly, I'd love to say a whole lot, but not a whole lot. I've been like in a funk from being laid off. So outside of streaming, it's a lot of me. I mean, if I'm not streaming or lifting, it's a lot of me just like sitting there either completely idly and like having an existential crisis, or watching video after video, kind of chasing the high of laughing at something. Like, you know, I'll watch like 1,000 TikToks and laugh at one of them, and like that one that makes me laugh is just enough to keep going.
So you're on TikTok now?
I'm not on TikTok, no. I'm watching these pre-curated...
Oh, the YouTube TikToks?
Yeah, and like, it's I watch enough of them now that like it's a specific lane. It's a lot of like TikToks that would be Vines kind of stuff. But there's a lot of TikTok content out there that I just can't get behind, that I don't find entertaining at all. But this younger generation, the Zoomers, as they're called, they're really killing it with the comedy game. They've definitely got an angle.
They're really getting into that new, like, random comedy where it's just a whole bunch of nonsense that makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah, they're very well versed in the need and developing new ones.
How do you feel about Yankee No Brim?
What?
Yeah, I've seen it come up a couple of times, and it's just like it's one of those classic forced memes, or at least it feels like it's a meme.
It definitely does, because it just seems so stupid. For context, and for Seth, who doesn't know what this is, Yankee No Brim was a TikTok that came around where some dude was wearing a ball cap, but it didn't have the brim of the ball cap. And on the ball, the hat itself, it had a Yankee logo. So some guy was just like chasing this fool, screaming out, "Yankee no brim! Yankee no brim!"
So it was a hat that had no brim.
Yeah.
So it's just like a yarmulke.
It's a baseball cap with a brim removed. It's similar to a yarmulke. It's like a long yarmulke.
Yeah, it's like the dad of yarmulke.
It's because it's like the kids with like the Yankees fucking yarmulke. That's like what I'm imagining. This guy, like, or like the Orioles or the.
It's that, but you know, it goes around the whole head.
Yeah, he's like extra coverage.
It's a halfway between a yarmulke and a hijab.
But it's Yankee No Brim. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, it's Yankee No Brim, and now people are going around like on the Facebook Marketplace, and they're starting to sell brims no Yankee.
Like a visor?
Yeah, but it's just someone like cut off the brim from a Yankees ball cap and is just selling the brim.
Oh, wait. I would get a baseball cap if it was just the cap part, like this, but like without that. Like it was that, but imagine that. Like it was just like a.
It's just
No,
visor. It covers the hair.
No brim?
No brim.
Okay.
Isn't that just a beanie?
Kind of, but it's cut.
It's originally a cap, and I mean I would call it a cap.
It's like stiff, you know, like a cap.
Goes on and off very smooth.
Excuse me.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
3-in-1 shampoos. The fuck is that?
Who's? So you think that's bad? I use a 7-in-1
Get out.
miracle shampoo.
Get out.
It's not. Like I wasn't at the store and I'm like, oh, 7-in-1. That's the angle for me. That's why I'm gonna buy this one. I bought it because I like Aussie shampoo. Like I just like the way it works in my hair.
Okay, that's fair. I like Aussie too.
Wait, what are the 7 things you're supposed to be doing to your hair that I'm not doing?
I don't know. I really don't know. Besides conditioning and shampooing, I have no idea. I've never read the bottle. It's just the reason I bought it was because it was the biggest one they had. I'd rather buy a big product and have to buy it less times than have to buy like a small bottle of shampoo once every 2 weeks.
Did it have like a pumper on top? Was it that big?
It does have a pump, yeah.
Nice.
Gotta pump it up.
3 pumps.
3 pumps.
3 pumps.
Wait, do you wash your asshole with it? Because I think that's like the third thing. Like anything you wash your hair with probably isn't the same kind of thing that you should wash your asshole with.
No, I wash my asshole with a coffee soap bar. It's got coffee grounds in it.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Exfoliating. It's pretty nice.
I like to use a charcoal one. It has charcoal and cactus seeds in it.
Nice.
You gotta use the body spray to bidet it out sometimes. You don't want those cactus seeds stuck in there.
Cactus seeds, damn.
It's very nice.
Your asshole must be like, you know, like the Gobi Desert, just like dry as a bone.
It's clean.
This Brazilian sugar scrub. It's got like coconut and like cocoa butter or something in it. It smells really nice. It's exfoliating.
Yummy.
It always surprises me that these sugar scrubs don't make my skin sticky because they're made of sugar.
Well, yeah.
But someone was like, yeah, it's because you are washing it off with water. But like, you'd still think it would make your shit sticky. But I don't know. I'm just a fucking guy.
Just trying to wash my body and be clean. Careful not to touch the podium.
I broke the whole apparatus. It's fucked.
We're shutting it down.
All right.
Shut it down.
Thank you for the episode.
Shut
it was
this
a good,
kitchen down.
11-minute episode. You all have a good night. Gang. But I still don't believe that you should be able to wash your hair with a soap and conditioner and still be able to wash your body with the same thing.
So like when I lather my hair, I'll like use that same lather on pretty much everything, and like I wash all of it off, but then I still do a soaping of my body, and then I do the sugar scrub on my arms and my shoulders.
Ooh.
Oh.
Exfoliation.
Is that where you have most acne?
Yeah, it is. It's because of the acne for the sugar scrub. I wanted to get something that was like exfoliating. That's why I ended up buying it.
Smart.
Full disclosure, I use like special acne like body wash because I have a particular problem with acne on my bum, and my bum is kind of like an important feature for my sex life. That's a different story. So I'm like I need to make sure this shit is clear. So I use special medicated soap for my butt so that it stays clear, and it's a daily struggle. Like, full disclosure, I'm glad I can be open about it with you guys because something I'm self-conscious about. My butt soap, but I'm determined to make sure my butt is smooth and clean and milky, you know.
Does it work?
I mean, it definitely helps because like, my ass gets sweaty. I have a sweaty ass syndrome. I don't know if it's a problem, but like, I sit a lot, yeah. And like, it can be problematic sometimes, so.
Very much so.
And I get anxious a lot, which doesn't help. I mean, I've you could write a book about my anxiety.
Yeah.
You could probably power a small vehicle with like my anxiety.
That should be a thought on Elon Musk is let's start powering the Teslas with anxiety.
Oh my god, if you could figure out how to use human anxiety as an energy source, you'd solve, like, our problem.
No more world pollution. Just whatever you got, put it into this bin and put it outside your door. We'll have an anxiety collector come up every night.
Just wear this helmet for 10 minutes.
Definitely no shortage of it.
Ever.
It's a renewable resource.
Everything could be fine, but people are still going to be anxious as shit. The world's going to end. We cured all pollution, though, but it's still... It's getting there. It's getting there.
I'm still panicking, like, because I can't, like, sit in a chair in my house, like, by myself.
I feel that.
Speaking of sitting by yourself, Seth, why can't you sleep at night?
Like, the overarching reason is because of everything we're just talking about, the palpable, like, crippling anxiety. But last night I couldn't sleep because this guy was fucking... Okay. So I guess Sharona was locked in the apartment, and Sharona's roommates and this other roommate and this other dude were outside. And at like 4 a.m, Sharona's roommate was like screaming, "Sharona! Sharona!" at like in our alleyway, like at the top of her fucking lungs, trying to wake up Sharona. I can only imagine the
Roma is your neighbor, I would assume?
Yeah, she lives in the building next to mine, presumably, I assume. Or Sharoma was in the apartment, and Sharoma's, like, and everyone else who was there, Sharoma's friends were not in the apartment, they were trapped outside, so they were screaming, "Sharoma! Sharoma!"
They're probably all in the bathroom just throwing up. They've just been getting really shitty, and they went out to Benny Blanco's to get some pizza, and just they were closed because they're like, yo, new regulations, we'll close early.
There's burnt pieces of tinfoil all over this apartment. But anyway, the fucking, like, the Shroma's roommate screaming. But there's this gentleman who lives in that same building who frequently has this, where it's like, if there's like some noise in the alleyway, he'll like scream at the top of his lung outside of his window, like, "Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Shut up!" And like going somewhere, you can't understand it, I don't know, but like he like goes on like a ramble like that. So that was happening. So whoever was like screaming for Sharoma was getting screamed at by this dude. So it was like, Sharoma! And then, "Fuck you! So I lived in this apartment for 30 goddamn years!" And it's like, we're just trying to wake up Sharoma. We're locked out of the apartment. And then everyone in the fucking, every like building in the fucking alleyway starts like screaming like, "Shut up, shut up." And like in the background you hear this guy's like, "I hope Sharoma's okay." And I'm like sitting there in my bed like, fuck everything. Like, I can't. I have to go to work.
Been loving all of that, dude. I would have been stirring that pot for sure.
Sharoma's dead.
I really wanted to scream out of like, can somebody check on Sharoma? Like,
I was like, yeah, I'm up here with Sharoma.
She said go home. She doesn't give a fuck about y'all no more. Get out.
You're not friends anymore. Get out of here.
Yelling at my dad.
Sharoma's my bitch now.
Leave her alone.
Oh my god.
Sharoma said she slept with your boyfriend. Let you in.
Oh my god.
Sharoma said she doesn't believe the drag. Just get out.
Sharoma does not live here anymore. Oh my god. Sharoma's dead.
Very painful death.
Yeah, it was slow.
No control.
Honestly, I hope Sharoma is okay. I'm like a little worried about Sharoma. But there was no ambulance. There's no ambulance. There was no ambulance in the fucking alley, so I think she's okay.
Let's hope.
Unless they just threw the body in the dumpster or something.
That
There's a dumpster right there.
Right, you know.
There is a dumpster there, and that just alleyway is just the creepiest alleyway at night.
It is, and it's also inviting at the same time for some reason.
Yeah, like you could just like curl up and like read a book out by the dumpster.
Usually like a mattress is. You know?
You know, there's a dumpster that's like on fire and like a couch that's like tipped over, fueling the fire, burning the vehicles around it.
There's always something new.
Always something to look forward to.
Yeah.
This is like personal nightmare. Like I want to cry.
There's always like some weird reminiscence of like the night before. Like you go outside and you'll find a couple of needles at first, but then you find like a burnt up pieces of paper or something really fucking strange.
We play the game like, is this a human turd or a dog turd?
I like that game.
You see a bunch of just tarps that are set up, and you're like, "Oh my god, is there a person in there?"
I got
or is
really
it just
good
their
at
shit?
it. Like a human shit is pretty different from a dog shit. Like there's a lot of characteristics.
Definitely.
Like a human shit is never as solid as a dog shit. Like dogs are like champion poopers. Like a human couldn't like shit like in the open air, like in a normal human diet, unless they eat a ton of fiber and have it be like solid like a dog shit.
Yeah.
These are the things I've learned living at my apartment.
I have these environmental sampling kits that are like swabs that are suspended in like a solution, and you can pretty much swab anything with it, and then you put it back into the tube with the Butterfield solution, and they last up to like 6 months if you refrigerate them.
Can you do like DNA?
Yeah, you can do all kinds of tests from there, from the solution.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
The swab is sitting in. You can like put it under a microscope. You can check DNA. You can do a lot with it. I have a bunch of them for some reason.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I might need it today.
Hey,
I never by the day.
Like, you could sample yourself and then test it for COVID. Like, keep it in, like, a little tube and say, like, oh, I was infected at this time.
So, have you heard of Banshees, Russell? Yeah, like the
A screaming ghoul?
yeah, the mythological being.
I'm not like super familiar with the details of a banshee. I've encountered them in video games like Dark Souls, but I don't know the specifics or origins or like what you would classify a banshee as. For me, a banshee is like this like screaming female ghost thing
With chains.
Pretty much.
There's chains.
That's what like every video game is characterized. The Irish have a myth that define a banshee as an all-white being, neither male nor female, but sounds mostly female. But it's some otherworldly being that you hear it, supposed to signify that a person that's close to you has passed. Now, if you see the banshee on the other hand, you are going to pass soon. So I have found a video that I would like to show you guys to see whether you guys think it is real or not.
Now, my only reference for a banshee is from Scooby-Doo, and it was a person in a mask. So, are they real?
I don't know. I don't personally know. I'll go more into it after we watch this video. For those that are listening to us, if you look up GG13, The Haunted World of CW on YouTube, the video is episode 5. It's called Screaming Ghost or Banshee Caught on Tape. Now, the beginning of this video is absolutely horrendous. It makes zero sense because the videographer just said, let's just take a whole bunch of horror movie skits, do them ourselves, put it all in front of it, and then go to a girl that is talking about how she wants to start making videos about cats. So we're skipping all of the cats. There is a hard cut at 9:45 where it goes into this room. You just see a window and a bed frame. But it's said that in this video you can hear a banshee scream. Now, Russ, I'm going to let you know when you talk, it's going to probably explode us. So.
I'll try not to.
Oh, actually, no, that's pretty good. Never mind. You sound great. We are going into this video at 10 minutes. The girl just shot up. I was looking around after hearing that noise. So, just based off that, we'll stop there. We're stopping at 11 minutes and 17 seconds.
Why is she recording herself sleep? Is this like a sex thing?
See, that's the thing that gets me. Why is she recording all of it?
Because maybe she has been experiencing things for like a while and was like, all right, maybe I need to start documenting what's going on. That's one angle of it is it's a repeat thing, and she's like expecting it, so she set up the camera. Another angle is it's complete bullshit, which is obviously the most likely. But that being said, and I don't know how this is going to be in the final mix. On my end, I couldn't hear the audio entirely, like it was in bits, and the video itself was very low frame rate, so I only got certain frames of it. But what I did see, especially when she first got up, the look in her face seemed genuine. So she could be really good at acting, or there's an angle where it could be legit, or I guess here's a third possibility: someone is having a really good time fucking with her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that could be the case as well.
I feel like it's like an animal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Because, like, if that was happening here, I'd be like, that's almost certainly coyotes, right?
Or, like maybe a mountain lion.
But there's an owl that's called a screech owl that sounds like a woman screaming. So maybe it's like a bird or something, like a nocturnal, like, bird or something that's like, it just sounds like a... Because it didn't sound like, obviously, like a person. But it could...
Rabbits scream, too.
Rabbits?
I think so.
Oh, that sounds...
I could be wrong, but...
I bet a rabbit, if it screamed, would sound insane. Like something monstrous.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna Google it real quick, because I could have sworn I've seen a rabbit scream in a video before.
So I just sent you the time marker for the next topic. It's still the same video. I sent you the video as well.
Oh, is there like a visual?
Yes. But we're gonna hear this rabbit scream first.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe the rabbit screaming isn't me.
I'll look up this owl though, because I mentioned it.
Screaming owl.
I just watched a video and I'm like, yeah.
No, that's bullshit.
Scream at me over a rabbit.
It's just
a man screaming.
It's just like, those videos of like people sending a basketball down the Hoover Dam, and right before it hits the ground they play that porn mix. It's just like...
Dude, I've been in so many like Zoom meetings and fucking webinars and shit, and I've been like tempted to just play the Pornhub intro, that like little 2-second speed. Because like everyone running a Zoom call or like any kind of these like web seminar type thing, they're like technologically inept. They don't understand how to use the shit that they're using at all. Seminar today, and the lady is like stopping what she's saying every 2 seconds to like mute a new person that comes in, and like in the tab she's clicking right under mute all, which is what she keeps selecting every 5 minutes. She stops to hit mute all. Right under mute all is an option called mute upon entering, and like it's fucking right there. Like maybe you don't get it on the first couple of goes, sure, but like how many of these meetings have you done at this point, and how many times like have you see the list, but like you just tunnel vision on mute all. So like you could just click that, all your problems go away.
Because doesn't it unmute all when you hit it too?
Can I tell you that the instructor of my like computer programming class has not figured that out on Zoom yet, and we're like 6 weeks into this quarantine, and he's like,
oh,
like
man.
that's like his job.
He's like, I'm the computer guy. I don't know how to do it.
And like you can just mute everybody's thing.
I went to New York. I got my degree in New York. It's fine.
People running like Zoom classes and shit has gotten so rampant that the FBI is like cracking down on it.
It's sad. It's so sad.
It's fucking ridiculous.
But at the same
Like,
time,
it's a new form of prank calling, but yeah, at the same time, it's someone derailing like education.
like, I have a friend that works with me at the pub, and she works in a middle school. Like, her day job, she's a middle school math teacher. So she's been doing these Zoom calls, and every single day, she puts the Zoom call password and URL on her Instagram story. She has all of her students following her, so I mean, like, that's chill, but it's also her personal Instagram.
Wait, she's like a middle school teacher?
Yeah, she's a middle school teacher.
Oh, man.
Oh man, I want the I want the info so bad.
Well, someone freaking deleted their Instagram, so...
Oh, true. I mean, because, like, if I got into that Zoom call before she did, I could just be like, I'm your substitute for the day.
Today we're going to learn about the bird and the bees.
I'm going to be teaching you guys about team building through video games. So what I'm going to be doing here is live streaming Valorant.
I need all you punks to get on CSGO now.
You gotta tell all your friends.
Private matching every single one of you, and you're going to get pwned.
Now, to receive marks for the day, all you gotta do is follow this Twitch channel. And,
share it to all medias.
If you want to donate. It'd be cool if someone ever donated to my stream. I have this awesome animation set up. Someday.
Hey, your follow's pretty lit. Bird up.
Bird up, yeah. I like that a lot. And shouts to Eric Andre for not only giving me such a sweet audio clip to use, but also for making the bird up animation.
And being absolutely the cringiest and funniest dude out there right now.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing, that's for sure.
He got big trust energy. Okay, so do you have this video up yet, Russ?
What video?
Check your Discord.
The ghost video?
Yeah, I sent you it.
Okay.
Go to 1350.
1350.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm there.
Press play. So, this here... And go ahead and stop it.
Okay.
But that was supposedly the Banshee. That small apparatus was it, according to this girl. Now, let's mind you that this channel is also known to be a ghost channel. Like, they go and ghost hunt all the time. So this could be something that they stage along with their other stuff. People have said that they have debunked and proven that a lot of their stuff is not real.
If it didn't sound so much like a fucking wolf or a coyote, like, it sounds like a wolf or a coyote.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't sound like, you know, what they're claiming to be.
Well, I tell you what, this comment section seems to definitely believe that it was a Banshee. Someone said, Halo 3 brought me here. Because a Banshee is a vehicle in Halo. Oh, that's great. I mean, it's always hard to tell with these kinds of content creators. Because it's like, are you just pumping out shit to have content?
Right.
Or are you going out there and actually hunting out plausible cases of this?
Alexandrish.
I wish I wasn't such a skeptic. I wish that I could just absorb these sorts of things.
Same.
I mean, I wish too, because I watched the full 20 minutes of it. She claims to go see it again, but it doesn't... Again, it doesn't seem like it would be a banshee. It just seems like maybe somebody dressed all in white. Just...
I'm gonna listen to this again real quick. Because it sounded,
It could have been a rock.
just sounded really produced.
It could have been a bug. And throughout the whole time, it gets louder and louder and louder, but it keeps sounding like the same file sound.
And it sounds like a fucking coyote or a wolf.
Yeah.
Like, banshees are not supposed to sound like coyotes or wolves, aren't they?
No, they're not.
So I was saying, I think it's the sound effect. I think it was something put in post-processing. I'm gonna have to watch the entire video at some point to do a deeper dive. But I listened to that part 13 minutes in a few times over, and it's just like dead space, and it almost just sounds like someone hit play on a soundboard. I'm also being very skeptical, but it sounds like post-processing to me.
Definitely. And like I said, I watched the whole thing, and it seemed fake. The very beginning of the video was a skit, and then the next scene is a skit, and then it's her talking, and then it's this, and then it's back to her talking again, and in between she's talking about cats.
And these dogs freak out every time we play it. Like, they, like, sniff at the door.
Yeah, they're like, what is that? What the hell?
I think it's coyotes.
It does sound like coyotes.
It does. Which brings me to a topic of a memory that I had when I was younger. In the 6th grade, I was living in... Oh, where the hell was I? I was in Littleton. And we were able to go on a field trip up to the mountains. And we went to Conifer Creek into some campsite. And as we're in the campsite, they're talking about how, like, there is a cabin where an old man that used to groundskeep died, and he haunts the grounds. You know, like every typical ghost story. So I just kind of brushed past it and said, whatever. The first night we're there, we're all sleeping in this giant, like, it kind of seemed like a military bunk bed house. It was just a structure that had a whole shelf beds on there. So we're sitting there and we are messing around, me and a couple of other guys, just like making howling noises. Just going, ooh, ooh, just to scare everybody. And, you know, successfully we did. We absolutely terrified everybody to the point where the teacher got up and, like, turned on the lights and screamed at everyone, like, you guys all need to go to sleep. That is not funny to do. We're out in the middle of the mountains. That is very possible. So, God damn it. No, we're fine. It's fine. It's great.
Everyone's a little startled.
They're all startled. And all of a sudden you start hearing coyotes actually howl. So we're all starting to freak out. The teacher goes up to the window. He's after turning off the light or on the lights, he asks us who the hell is doing that, and he continues doing it as he's staring at everybody with the lights on. So he goes up to the window and he sees a coyote perched up in, like, the middle of the grounds area. And he's just like, oh, okay, so no one's going to be leaving the cabins. I need everybody to get in your bed and stay in your bed. Everybody that are on the bottom 2 bunks need to go up to the 3rd and 4th bunks. And luckily, I was already on the 4th bunk, so I ended up getting one of the guys we were messing around doing the howling sound. But as we're sitting up there, we see 3 coyotes come into our lodge. Like, after 15 minutes of waiting for them to pass. They come in, they sniff around, they're looking around for things, and the chaperone gets up and throws his shoe at the floor, and you just see all 3 of them dip out. So, we go back to bed. Everyone's absolutely terrified, so I don't know how anybody slept. I stayed awake due to the insomnia, because I was already awake. And as I'm sitting there, just kind of staring at the ceiling, I hear that exact same scream in that video.
Interesting. So you think you heard a banshee that night?
Maybe.
Or maybe a coyote.
A coil. I couldn't figure out what it was. All of a sudden the next day, I get a call from the office, and come to find out, my uncle passed that night. He was on his way back from work, and he had a heart attack around 4 in the morning.
What if it was the coyotes coming to tell you that? Because they knew, because they're coyotes.
That could be possible,
Coyotes
too.
are banshees.
They could be banshees.
Huh.
There's so much like dog and coyote like admixture that even like wild coyote populations have like dog DNA. So like I wonder, like, you know,
Maybe they know.
I mean, like, coyotes don't interact with people that much, but like if you actually interacted with one, what would it be like? They'd probably try to bite you.
Definitely. They would try to use you as food.
Or maybe they'd snuggle.
Individually, they're like little bitch animals.
Yeah.
But like in a big pack, you know, they have strength in numbers. But I
Right.
feel like when it comes to people, like coyotes are really fucking scared of people.
Yeah.
They're not like a mountain lion or like a bear, you know.
I had a dream about a mountain lion. No one on Earth wants to hear about this. But I'm like, what the fuck? If I saw a mountain lion in real life like I did in this dream, I think I would piss and then shit and then vomit and then cry in that order.
And then shower.
No.
Dreams be hitting different sometimes.
No, in the dream, I don't remember what happened. I think I woke up with anxiety because that's just like how that's like every night now. But like, I think, but like in real life, if I saw like a mountain lion and it's just like walked up to me, I think I would shit and piss and vomit and like cry at the same time.
I brought my when I was younger, I was like 15. My cousin wanted to try smoking weed, so I brought her and her friend to like this like patch of woods that I would smoke weed in, because like, you know, 15, you can't like smoke weed in someone's backyard, like it has to be like a secret.
Yeah.
So I brought them like out to this remote location to smoke, and I pulled out this like shitty pipe and whatever the fuck I was smoking, and started to pack it, and they were like, "Is that thing real?" And I look over, and there is a fucking full-grown mountain lion, like maybe 80 yards away from us, looking at us, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
that's real. And they were like, "I'm leaving." I told them, I'm like, "Nah, just be chill. Like, don't go anywhere. You know, you might startle it. It's fine." I was kind of in shock, so I was under. They were reasonably so. I wouldn't even say overreacting, but they were very much so reacting to it. And they were like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here." So they slowly kind of trailed away and left, and I just like stayed standing still. I'm looking at this thing, it's looking at me, and it just turns its head away and it walked away. And I was like, "All right, cool." And I just stood there and smoked my weed. I feel like in that moment the mountain lion was like, "Not today."
I'm like, the mountain lion was probably like, "Oh wait, that's a pipe. That's not a gun. I'm walking away by it." It's like,
I'm a vegetarian.
So I don't do that devil's lettuce.
like, people are too fatty. I can't. Like, it's bad for my heart. I'll get the shits.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want the
Honestly,
gas.
You can probably smell the half an aerosol can of Axe Tsunami on me from a mile away.
Definitely.
I don't want that.
like this,
That stuff could be used as bug repellent.
Dude, it pretty much was. Dude, I had such a low concept of how to use things like that I can't make this shit up. I would lay my t-shirt out for the day. I would lay it down on my bed. I would literally spray the entire surface area of the shirt. Axe Tsunami aerosol.
Oh.
And flip it over and hit that side with it too. And
No.
the more I use, the better I am.
I can like taste it right now. It's like I want to vomit. Like.
Dude, me too. And like thinking back on it, my music teacher, I'll call her Mrs. M. She like commented on it, and like I didn't know at the time that she was like giving me shit for it. Like I thought that she was just being nice, and she was like, "Oh, well, like, are you wearing a new cologne? And it smells really nice." It was definitely her shitting on me. So I was like, "Yeah, you like it?" It was the shit. Reinforced me being a dumbass.
See, I was never the Axe type of guy. I was always the Old Spice guy, but I had that classic bottle, the small little aftershave one. And my stepdad taught me the whole finger dabbing technique, where you would just put your finger on it, shake it, and then dap it, and just do like 6 daps, 2 under your neck, and then 2 from your hands. You know, it's the best way to do it.
What about your armpits, where you stink?
Oh, that was, regular deodorant.
Okay.
I never used the aerosol stuff. It would always make my arm chafe.
Oh, you're talking about just like scent, like personal man scent.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would remember going to the showers during swimming practice and going out after gym. And I would shower, do that stuff, and as I'm walking out, I would have to walk through a giant aerosol cloud of 5 different Axe sprays. They'd have the chocolate, the tsunami, the phoenix, the sport, just in this area next to the showers, which were
and it's like
at the front door.
In the air too.
Yeah, you couldn't. I would have to walk through like my mouth covering my face and my nose.
No one wants to suck a penis that tastes like Axe.
No one wants to be around a guy that smells like Axe.
At 15, you're like, I need my penis to smell like Axe.
Like, that is how I will get it wet.
And I have to get laid, or else everyone's gonna know I'm a fucking loser.
But like, I'm not getting laid, but I'm gonna tell everybody I got laid because I'm gonna spray my mom's perfume on
that
me.
was also a big card of mine. Was I would be like, yeah, the best looking person that we go to school with, definitely had sex with them a bunch. I was just like afraid of like not realizing at the time that it's totally normal and probably would have played out better for me to have not had sex. I was like, no, I gotta just like grow up faster than everyone because that's the cool thing to do. And I ended up just like separating myself further from my peers.
I mean, in that time period, all you can think about is being cooler than anybody else. You don't care about anything else other than, how cool am I?
Or
what people think about you.
Or perhaps how desperately, like, seriously a loser you are that you'll never be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about being cool, you guys know that churches are still asking for money during the pandemic?
Oh, I heard about that guy who was, like, asking for people's stimulus checks.
Yeah. Did you get that article I sent you?
No. Oh, you just sent it.
Mr. Lowry.
Pastor Tony Spell.
Yes. So, Pastor Tony Spell is from the Tabernacle Church in Louisiana.
Life Tabernacle Church. What a fucking name.
Life Tabernacle.
I've, like, been to a lot of different, like, religious, like, services from different, like, traditions, like Muslim and Christian and Jewish and Hindu or whatever. And the one thing that they do at all of them, they're all different. The one thing they do at all of them is that at some point they ask for money.
Yeah. They're like, we need to fund. Crowdfund us.
I got stuck at a church service in the Netherlands because I thought it was a concert. and it turned out to be a church service. They were like singing and shit, and so I ended up being stuck in there. They closed the doors, and so this guy gave a sermon in like Dutch, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. The one thing I understood is when they brought around that hat.
No, I can't do this hat.
I was like, I gave it to you once. I'm not giving it to you twice. You got one coin. You got one 10 euro, like a euro, whatever the fuck you use. Like,
You got a schmeckle.
you got a schmeckle, and that's all you're getting.
You got a schmeckle,
You
could
couldn't
ask
hear
you for my
seconds.
schmeckles.
Like, I listened to your sermon. It was in Dutch. I don't know what it is you said. I didn't really get the full experience. I don't know if I need to pay twice for it.
But Tony Smells out here goes to TMZ and he's telling people, I want you to give that stimulus check to God. Because, you know, the more you pay the church, the more likely you're going to get into heaven. Because
Just facts.
yeah, definitely. If you're not doing that, then, you know, you're not going.
Yep. Going right to hell. You're free to play afterlife.
And, like, one thing is my mom would always take me to church and give me $1 and tell me to put it into the hat. And I would always sit there with the offering plate in my hand thinking, do I really want to put this in here? Or do I want to put this in my pocket? Because my luck is just getting shittier and shittier the more money I'm putting in here. And my mom said that if I put money in here, I'm supposed to get better and better luck. But the swirlies ain't stopping.
Right. You know what I think it is? I think that, you know, in a systemic way, it's obviously, you know, if you boil it all the way down, it's a way that, you know, facility is generating revenue. But furthermore than that, people want to, you know, how they say those like random acts of kindness. They want outlets that they can pay into, if not financially, then via volunteering or whatever it may be. But they want these outlets where they can put in some sort of energy, where they feel like they gave to something and it makes them feel better. And like in a religious way, when they, you know, they're not like realizing that they're feeling better for like volunteering or giving to do something, and they're just attributing it to the faith aspect of it. And like in kind of like dialing back to the how I was saying systemically, like it's this sort of equation that takes advantage of that, and that people, you know, they want to feel like they're helping. So it's like, you know, it's a massaging of their ego in a way, and there's just like these huge you know, churches and synagogues and mosques. They're all kind of doing it in their own way, where it's just like you're taking advantage of that, and then somewhere down the line there's this hierarchy and elite where they're just using all that money to live very strange, luxurious lives
With multiple cars and giant houses.
It's really like an extension of
young
like
children.
the ancient like tradition of people like ritually sacrificing animals and shit, like, or like offering like their lambs and shit like to the temple or whatever, like to sacrifice them, you know. Like the priests were off having a huge ass barbecue like all the goddamn time, while these people were trying to like, you know, have children and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Make a decent wage by milling grains all day by hand.
Right, and meanwhile they're giving away their lambs and shit.
Yeah. Their one source of income in food. They're just like, please, Lord, help me out of poverty.
And this guy was wearing very like fancy like outfits, you know, would take their lambs.
Oh, they have the nicest things. Like, they have the nicest clothing. They have these beautiful altars, beautiful facilities and temples and shit like that.
Oh, right.
Just the best of the best. And
You never
the
see,
people who are paying money into it are just fucking working class or less.
and you'll
Yeah.
never see a priest off on the side of the road with a broken down car, ever. You'll also never see them helping someone with a broken down car on the side of the road. But they're well taken care of. I remember every priest growing up would have a different wife every 3 to 6 months. They would go through women and be like, oh, this is going to be my soon-to-be wife, and then there's a divorce, and then, oh, I'm getting married again. Oh, she left you. You're separated. It was very, very strange, especially since my parents would say that priests were never supposed to be married in the first place.
These were not Catholic priests, I assume.
Christian.
So they weren't, okay.
Yeah.
Because they were marrying women.
Yeah. Christian
Adult
Methodists.
women.
Yeah.
Oh,
All the different sub-branches of that faith are so confusing to me. Like, I don't know I don't know the difference between a Protestant and a Catholic. Shit.
So did you guys see what Pope Francis did during Easter?
Looks like he held up a frying pan.
He did hold up a frying pan.
What?
If you go to the video, we're finding this off of France 24. So Pope Francis,
He held up a frying pan? Why?
yeah, he held up a frying.
Because it was Easter, because of the eggs?
Yeah.
What's with the eggs?
Jesus hired a dude, you know.
Because there's a Passover egg, and it's also not explained. And I'm like, what the fuck is with the eggs around these holidays?
So are you watching this video, Russell?
We can do that. Oh, that's a picture.
So
What about during the
Oh, it's a
Black
bishop.
Plague? I guess they didn't protect themselves back then.
So this is the Bishop of
Scott.
Guayonalic. I probably fucking butchered the hell out of that, but
What about when they gave smallpox to all the Native Americans?
oh, they didn't need that. They didn't need a blessing.
Like, they didn't talk about that.
Yeah, they were just like,
I mean, these people are feeling it, man. They're outside. They're watching it happen.
They're like, hell yes.
That's
So
true.
this bishop in a helicopter.
Yeah, he's going in a helicopter.
What is that?
I think that was a goat.
Is that a goat? Why do they have a goat?
Sacrifice.
They don't... Do they do that?
And probably in some cultures on Easter, they'll sacrifice a goat.
Oh, I bet it's good.
Father Rolando Lemus went through Ecuador in a helicopter, blessing people via helicopter. In the Vatican, they had a live webinar during Easter service. In Paris, the bishop came out, or archbishop came out. In Montmartre, they took a frying pan to the city.
What's the frying pan represent?
Well, it's probably not a frying pan. It was probably a crucifix. It's probably just a very big crucifix with an aura of a sun behind Jesus. Or something. But all the popes and cities are going around blessing people via car, via helicopter. And honestly, I think it's kind of beautiful.
That's really cool. At least they're trying to, like, do it right.
Yeah.
Like that other guy.
They're not asking for money. They're just blessing people via car.
If they don't... They have enough money.
Wow.
God damn, I don't know what the fuck is...
out there.
Damn.
What a world to be alive in.
Yeah. Should I order Domino's?
Why not?
Definitely.
That's all I gotta hear.
Just don't like. I don't know if like you might not want to like indulge on like the lava cake or like those impulse buys at the end.
Yeah, just.
But you might want to do that anyway. Like, why not? Don't let it influence you.
Sorry.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty much gonna do it regardless. But when someone's like, "Yeah," then it's a no-brainer.
It's a full send.
I was like, you probably don't want to, but you should absolutely do it.
Definitely. You're gonna regret it in the morning, but it will be everything you wanted.
Ooh, I am cold right now.
But where's the best street food, Russell? You've been on the festival circuit for a while. What'd you do, like almost 10 years?
Geez.
Street food?
7
years?
7 years.
In the 7 years, where did you find the best street food?
The best food.
Like street food?
Yeah, like
Food
you walk up to a
and
thing.
quality.
You walk up to a thing and you buy something from a shack. Some dude in a shack.
Okay, so this isn't a shack, but the food. First of all, the food increases in quality the further south you go.
That's true.
I'm sure that there's a limit there. Like
Florida. It doesn't go into Florida.
yeah, Florida is just like its own thing, its own planet. But I went to Georgia and I almost only, if not, I might have only eaten chicken in Georgia. Like, obviously, like, sides and things like that, but, like, chicken was the main course, 3 meals a day for, like, I don't know how many days I was there, 4.
It's healthy.
But, there's a fast food chain in the South called Zaxby's,
Oh my god.
and it's phenomenal. It's the best thing, I've eaten in regards to fast food, and it's like they just do like fried chicken and shit. And just like the fried chicken in general in the South is ridiculously good, and it's all so unhealthy, and that's why a lot of people in the South are like fucking morbidly obese, and they just like drink sweet tea, which is like 800 grams of sugar.
Sweet
and,
tea,
like,
melted
ranch
butter.
shit. Yeah. Yeah, literally, it's just like sweet tea and melted butter. It's like their diet is like fats and sugar.
And the biscuit group. Don't forget the biscuit group.
Oh, dude,
biscuits.
man.
Russell is correct, though, and I agree wholeheartedly that just like all the South, it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, I would say maybe like in the coast, just because there's like shrimps and shit too, and the fried shrimps are definitely like delectable too. But
Yeah, you could throw a rock in any direction. There's going to be good food. You might get robbed, but there's going to be good food as well.
That's fine.
except the chips aren't good. You can't cook good potato chips in the South.
No good potato chips.
Except the Zapp's chips in New Orleans, but that doesn't really count. But like if you're like in Alabama, you want like potato chips, you're fucked.
You can't get like a Dorito.
They're like thick and like half cooked, and just like they're just not fucking chips.
Yeah, it's weird.
They're like thick in a not good way. They're not like Cape Cod kettle chips.
No, so crisp.
Yeah.
See, I'm a personal fan of kettle chips. Ellie hates kettle chips.
What?
She doesn't like the crunch.
But the crunch is so good.
That's what I say. I say the crunchier the better, and she's like, nah, that shit's horrible. It hurt my teeth.
It's fantastic. They're like, it's like Captain Crunch, but potato chips.
So it destroys your mouth afterwards too.
Yeah. Have you ever had Try Some chips?
Try some.
Yeah, they're like a New England chip. They're like Cape Cod chips.
You mail me some.
I want to say they're cooked in lard, but they're fucking amazing, dude.
Oh, like Grandma Utz, with like in lard.
They're more like Cape Cod chips than anything, but they're better than Cape Cod chips. Like after you have a handful of them, you can feel this like thin layer of like grease that coats your mouth.
Delicious.
They're delicious.
Moisturizer for the mouth.
Grease.
Gree.
Food.
So, do you believe that chicken nuggets are the same thing as boneless boneless wings?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're manufactured differently, actually, because, like, a chicken nugget is made from, like, that pink slide shit where they, like, ground up the chicken into, like, like a paste and then cook it. But, like, a boneless nugget is actually made with this enzyme called transglutaminase, which connects the glutamate chains that are in proteins, like, together through a chemical reaction, literally, like, bonds them together. It's basically, like, meat glue. So the boneless chicken is made by, like, gluing all the pieces together, whereas a chicken nugget is made from, like, a paste that's, like, pressed into a chicken's shape and then fried.
Yeah.
They're two different
Yeah,
things.
chicken nuggets are. I grew out of them, very much so. Like, I really, straight up, I don't fuck with chicken nuggets. I'll go out there and say it.
Even
I
if they're
do like
dinosaur
boneless.
shaped?
I'll do tiny dinos, but those, like, that's a different story, dude. But, like,
Those hit different.
if the menu had tiny dinos or boneless chicken, I'm almost always just going to go with the boneless. Or, honestly, now, in this day and age, I've been going with the bone in it. I'm, like, really OCD about, like, messy foods, so I can't actually, like, touch the wings with my bare hands. Like, I have a little tissue in each hand, and I, like, grab the wings so, like, I don't get the sauce on my hands.
You should have a food glove.
You know,
You
I
should
would.
you should get some food glove.
If there's an option for a bone, I'm always pro bone.
I'm pro bone as well. There's just like a flavor. There's a flavor you can't get with a boneless. There's just the bone gives such a good flavor.
Yeah. It doesn't help when you watch the video on YouTube of how it's made.
Deep
bone
flavor.
Things have a natural greasiness to them from the fat.
Oh, and it's like that thick, like, real body fat. That, like,
Yeah.
bulbous cellular fat.
It'll, like, put you to sleep. I love it.
Gets you so ready for an 8-hour nap, like I am now.
Dude, I have some boneless chicken on this order, but I'm about to throw in some bone-in chicken as well. You guys got me thinking.
Dude, fuck it up.
Tighten it up.
You gotta get that extra habanero hot.
So I'm getting the mango habanero sandwich. So then I'm just gonna go with the barbecue wings. Now I've had Domino's wings before, and they're subpar. They're literally just wings. Like they're not like bad, but they're definitely not. I've never eaten Domino's wings, and I'm like, holy shit, dude.
They're select wings, definitely.
They're not like it's not like
They're not choice, you know.
it's not like a wing.
No.
It's not like when you make a wing at your house.
You need to try this new recipe that I have for my wings, Russell.
Oh, his wings are like sex. They're gross.
It's
They're so gross in terms of like how like you feel like you committed some sort of sin when you ate them, you know? Like they're so like, cause you fry them like twice, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh, and you're like wrong. It's like wrong.
Oh yeah. So you take your wings, and you gotta pre-cook them, either bake, but I prefer to pre-fry them. You get them all the way cooked, right?
You don't boil your chicken?
Dude, I can't say the restaurant, but I did work at a restaurant where they would boil all their chicken wings.
What?
I don't like that.
They'd boil their chicken too.
That sucks out all that deep root flavor.
And they wouldn't even keep the broth. It's not like they would boil this chicken and then like save like 60 quarts of the water. No, they would just dump the broth straight down the drain.
They wouldn't like go up to the pot and go like and like suck up all that boiled chicken juice.
Shit, I did. I came up with a measuring cup. I dipped it in there and I ended up making a sauce out of it.
Mmm. Delicious.
So I'm gonna go onto this go onto the line over here, make me some pasta.
Dude, I want to order the bread, but like the bread twists are just pure fat. Like there's no fucking nutritional value there at all.
They don't hit like they used to.
I want it, but I know that
Don't do it.
it's literally just a waste of money. There's like no protein there. There's nothing.
Yeah, you're just gonna be sucking on it for like 30 minutes.
What, like sucking on a... Wait, what is this? A breadstick?
Yeah, they have bread twists, but they like just soak it in oil. So when it comes out, it's just hard, crunchy, and oily.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
They're good. It's just like it's a waste of money in that you're just like filling your stomach with nothing.
Right, it sounds like something that like you give people when like you ran out of real
It
food.
makes you fat.
It's
Yeah,
like
for real. It's like a poverty thing.
it's like Firefest food.
Like you just mix like a bunch of oil into the rice so that people feel full when they eat it.
Yeah.
That's like an old like trick. Like from that I learned from a cafeteria lady. That's what they do in like school lunches. They like mix a lot of oil into like the rice and shit to make you feel full.
Ooh.
Or whatever the fuck, or whatever they fucking serve.
Butter. Buttered rice.
Or that it's like movie theater butter.
Yum. That sounds so gross, but so delicious.
The movie theaters that like let you put the butter on. It's a fucking wrap, my guy. It's a wrap.
I come out there sliding out of the theater because I'm coated in butter.
With slippery cancer every time. Slippery when wet.
You just like get a liter of it and then pour it directly into your gas tank and then you get like great mileage.
Yeah, definitely. It's pure ethanol. So, oh yeah, those wings. So you fry them up once, right? Then you take them, you fry them again, you toss them in a sauce, and then you throw some flour onto it until it's fully coated in flour. Let it rest for 5 minutes, and then drop them back in for another 6. After they're fully crispy, you take them and you throw them in a sweet honey butter sauce. Now, there's some things in there that I put in there that is just like,
Don't reveal it to the world.
yeah, no. But
They are very. I can tell from experience. He's not just like tickling his own asshole. They are actually really good. You know what is really good though? I'm like a sucker for this. We get like Chinese food. You get like General Chow's chicken or whatever, and it's like the little bits of like fried chicken bits that are just real tiny and extra crispy and covered in the sugar salt solution that they dip it in.
that's the fat from the chicken. When you batter up a chicken, like the fat kind of breads a different way than the main protein of it. So when it comes off into the little bits. So when those just get tossed in there, it's like
Yeah, so the chicharrones or whatever.
Pan frying.
pan frying.
You get those little fucking burnt nuggets of chicken fat. Tastes delicious.
Chicharrones.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I need Lipitor.
Got gas.
I'm so gassy. I need Lipitor. Pass me my fiber pills. I literally it's like there's the olive oil and the vinegar and then the fiber pills on my counter. That's how important it is.
You know, you need the stuff for dipping, and then you also need the stuff to
poop.
Yeah.
It's important to stay regular.
I'm thinking Arby's.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're gonna have liquid shits after that.
If I went to Arby's and I was just like, can you just fill this like soda cup full of the horseradish sauce packets and then just give it to me? Well, I have to pay for it.
I mean, it's a pump.
If I give you $1, will you just give it to me? It's a pump?
It's a pump.
If I just go in with a soda cup and just pump until they ask me to leave, do you think they'll notice if I fill the whole cup? How long do you think it would take me before they notice?
Immediately. You would go up, you would buy the soda, you'd go over to the counter, and they'd watch you go over to the counter. No, they don't give you with the... You have to go and fill it up yourself.
Oh, okay. So
They would see you just walk up and just...
Do you think they'd say something?
Oh, yeah.
Why? I mean, do they care?
It's a 50-50. I mean, there's the chance that, like, they say something, and then there's also the chance that the person watching you do it is just like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Are you not allowed to do that? Are you only allowed to take a little bit?
I mean, I think they would just come up to you after a while and be like, sir, don't you think that's excessive? And
No,
you have all
it's
the right to be like, I bought this cup, I can fill it up with anything in your store.
Okay, if I get, like, those weird little fry things they have there with it,
Yeah, you could do that.
and, like, I just get that much, and then I'm entitled to as much horsey sauce as I want, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm thinking about just having a cup that big of that sauce in my fridge.
It's an Arby's.
Just-
You're gonna have a friend go in there and be like, yo, can I have this milkshake? You're gonna be like, sure.
It looks like you have pig semen in, like, your fridge. Like, you're, like, breeding pigs.
Hey,
Or it's like that classic goof on TV where the guy goes into the fridge and accidentally drinks the breast milk.
It tastes like mangoes.
That's so tangy.
Interesting. I wonder.
You haven't seen that song?
No, really. No.
What was that on? I think it was on Future Man on Hulu. It's on some
Pretty
show.
grossed out.
It's pretty bad. They get thrown in a room for interrogation. He's locked in there for like 2 days. The only thing in the fridge is literally breast milk.
We're going from mayonnaise to breast milk. Like, what's next? I don't want to find out what's next.
Your dad's here. I may cut out that whole breast milk stuff. To be honest.
We're mixing up mayo and breast milk to make a new hybrid horseradish.
We're still gonna throw horseradish in there, but it's gonna be mayo, breast milk. It's the new Arby's horsey sauce.
It doesn't sound like something I'd want on a roast beef sandwich.
Hey, there we go. Cursed condiments.
Breast milk and horseradish.
Oh, it sounds so bad.
It sounds like suffering.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So we made Phillies last night, and
Oh god. I feel like I'm getting the shits hearing you describe this.
I ran out of Worcestershire sauce. I had like a teaspoon of it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go through my entire pantry, try to find something. I found balsamic vinegar, and I put like a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar into it, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever done.
In the Philly?
Yeah, it was like sweet. It made the meat so weird and almost ketchup tasting.
Oh.
People from Philly are gonna kill us. Like,
Yeah.
They're gonna send us death threats.
Yeah.
Because you did the
Have you ever had a chopped cheese sandwich?
top cheese.
Chopped.
Chopped cheese.
Is that like pimento cheese?
Or is it like American?
American. It's like a cheeseburger that's chopped up and put into like a sandwich roll, like the Philly would be.
Uh-huh.
And it's usually made with like really cheap ingredients and then served with like one of those $1 Arizona iced teas. I've never had one, but I have heard legends. And it just seems like one of those things that's so simple that can't go wrong.
Sounds kind of good, honestly. Kind of want one.
I'll put a picture in Discord so you guys can see it at least.
I'd bet it would give you horrible shits, but I'd want one.
Definitely.
Regardless.
I can imagine cafeteria ladies serving that to students. You know, they're like, alright kids, we got chopped cheese sandwiches for lunch. Get in line, get your chopped cheese. Is it with like the cheese curds, or is it like government cheese?
Like ground beef, right? Like hamburger.
Like, yeah, like...
It's like that. It's like a baked cheese with...
Oh, it's like a sloppy Joe on a hoagie with no sauce.
Yeah, it's a cheeseburger just chopped up.
It's like a Yankee, no brim.
I feel like I've had this before and it was good. I feel like I had this at Wawa before.
I think I'm gonna make
Like
sloppy
New
joes
York
tonight.
thing, I think. Traditional sandwich from Manhattan.
Manhattan. It's New York. It's got the best everything.
I feel like I've had something like this before, but there's a lot. I mean, it's just like a cheesesteak with ground beef instead of cheese, right?
Yeah.
Or instead of steakums or whatever the fuck they use in a cheesesteak.
Why do people shit so hard on the sloppy joe? Like, people shit so hard on the sloppy joe because everyone's like, oh, it's such a gross sandwich. And I'm like, that's... Sloppy joes hit so hard when you're in the right mood.
They didn't do themselves a service by naming it a sloppy joe.
I like a manwich.
Yeah, it was better mamwich.
That's, I mean...
It makes you feel like a man. It makes you feel manly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like eating a hungry man.
Making a manwich has different meanings.
Like, I would love to be part of a manwich, but it's not quite the same thing as a sloppy joe, which is like all right, but like it's gotta have cheese on it.
Yeah, definitely. You can't just have a sloppy joe, and I think that's where.
But isn't
it fucks
this
up
what
people.
that is? Isn't this just a sloppy joe with cheese on it, but without the weird red sauce?
Yeah, there's no sauce, and it's on a hoagie instead of just a bun, because a sloppy joe or a mamwich is supposed to just be on a hamburger bun.
I bet it looks the same coming out as it does going in.
Oh, definitely. That's how sloppy joes are.
This one is from East Harlem.
Hi.
See, there's an emphasis on the lower quality ingredients.
Is that a tomato?
Better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's.
there's a thin slice of tomato in there, some lettuce. I would assume there's onion in there somewhere, but that's just a shot in the
I see a red onion.
At this
on the
point,
top.
it's like make a burger. You know, it's like you have all the components. You just need to like, you know, mash it together.
Yeah. Like, why keep it separate?
If it's like a cheesesteak, the lettuce and tomato, no.
I mean, if I had a couple of dollars and I
I
didn't
would
want to
eat it,
spend
yeah.
a whole bunch of money, this is definitely what I would be
That's the
devouring.
thing, it's like, you guys
I would eat the shit out of it.
Like, you get like you get a whole 6 or foot long sandwich and an Arizona iced tea for like $2 or $3.
That's awesome.
I guess the rule is like, I think it's like if it's more than $5 or $6, then it's not an actual chopped cheese.
Then it's just
Yeah, right.
a sloppy joe.
Or
It's not. It's just like some asshole trying to gentrify the chopped cheese.
I mean, we all know it's coming. In New York, hot dogs are going to start being like $7 for a dog.
Yeah.
There are these things you can get in New York, and they're like $1, and they're like a hand pie, and they're filled with like meat,
Ooh, meat pie.
and they're so good.
It's just like empanadas. You could get empanadas in New Mexico
It's kinda
for
like an empanada.
like for $1. You could get like 4, at least like 3-inch empanadas filled with meat, and you can always choose like from a meat, a fruit, and a cream one.
It's like a greasy empanada.
Oh, it sounds so good.
It's so fucking good. I want one right now.
I want to make empanadas.
My order is in the oven.
Oh baby,
I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
you got boneless nuggets.
And bone-in nuts.
Did you order your pizza boneless?
I didn't get a pizza. I got a sandwich and 2 orders of chicken.
They better make that sandwich boneless.
Oh, your head's scrapped.
They better make it boneless. You're right. If there's a bone in that sandwich, it'll be pretty fucking good.
A bone-in sandwich. Like, you just break your teeth open. That's what happened to Sammy. He had to get his teeth removed. He had a bone-in sandwich.
Oh, poor Champy.
No, but he did have a broken tooth. He had to get it removed.
Yeah.
He had 2 broken teeth.
Can't chew on no more hard stuff.
No more hot bones. He gotta chew on soft toys.
I have a wisdom tooth that's like falling apart, and I pretty much need to get all of them removed, but I don't have insurance.
One of these days, we'll be back. Oh, God.
I woke up, like, I have a conscious memory of being in the K-hole or whatever they put you in when I had my wisdom tooth surgery. and like feeling like the pliers like yanking at my head. Like not like in a painful way, just like the pressure. Like I could tell it was happening. I was like, eh.
In like a fun disassociating way.
Well, it's just like I could feel my head like jerking, and like someone pulling on it from my jaw, but it didn't feel painful because I was in a deep K-hole, and it was thrilling. But it was like or whatever the fuck.
It's so interesting to me that doctors or dentists will use ketamine to anesthese people.
You know, too.
Well, I got nitrous too, so it was like that combination. So I was like in La La Land.
Yeah, you're just in another fucking dimension.
I really wish they put me on K when I got my wisdom teeth removed.
They really want to be part of the podcast.
They gave me the nitrous, and they gave me the shots to help numb up your mouth.
Novocaine.
Yeah. So the Novocaine and the nitrous, but they said that they were giving me so much Novocaine because they would come back and then they would like start cutting open my mouth and I could feel everything. So I tell them like, I still feel all of this. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, we'll give you another shot. They ended up giving me enough to like subdue an elk, but I'm still sitting there like fully awake. Like, yeah, I can feel you drilling that tooth. I can feel you cutting the gums around it, and I feel you breaking the tooth. They literally took a pick and a hammer to my mouth and were hammering at my mouth, and I could feel every second of it.
Right, it's like, it's not the pain, the experience of you, even if it's not like you're feeling every like wince of pain, like you feel the pressure and shit, and it's like unnerving.
Well, it's not like I was feeling the pressure, I was feeling the pain.
Oh, really?
I was feeling absolutely everything.
Oh, shit.
Like, I told them from the beginning that Novocaine doesn't work on me. I've known this since as a kid. Because every procedure I've ever had done, I could feel absolutely everything.
Maybe your nerves, where they have to do those injections, aren't like as exposed as the average person's, and that's why your nerves don't react as much to it.
That could be true.
Novocaine, if it hits the nerve that they're going for, it's usually pretty surprisingly effective for a short period of time.
Mm.
And like would work on a jellyfish.
My earlobes get cut off, and I didn't feel anything. I literally watched this dude saw my earlobes off with a scalpel, and he injected Novocaine like into a couple of spots behind my ear, and within like 60 seconds he was sawing away at my shit. I didn't feel anything. I remember distinctly like when it was wearing off on my train ride back to Golden. I was like, oh man, it's really starting to feel like someone cut my ears off now.
See, is like an immunity to Novocaine also hereditary? Because this also happens with my brother and my sister and my mom. My brother had to get his stomach pumped at 14 because he went out on an H fix, and I guess he started choking on himself, so they went to go get his stomach pumped and they put him to sleep. And as they finished putting in the tube to go into his stomach, he wakes up and sees the tube and just starts pulling it out of himself, causing him to throw up everywhere. But like, they came back in and they were like, you were supposed to be asleep. It's only been about 30 minutes. And he was just like, oh, well, I don't feel shit.
Oh, this is fascinating, like the pharmacology of it. It doesn't actually have like a, God,
this cheese sandwich. You know, after looking at a cheese sandwich for about 15 minutes, it kind of just makes you feel sick a little bit.
To me, it looks that's hot like that.
It was hot for like the first 15 minutes, but the second 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, I definitely need to get some food in me because I feel sick looking at this.
Oh, my mouth is watering. I want it. Especially the second one that looks worse. I want more.
It looks soggy. What's getting me off is that lettuce and that tomato. It just looks so soggy and gross and just.
Oh yeah, no, it does look like it's the lowest tier, but I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be.
It looks like it was wrapped in a
top
napkin,
looks like-
put at the bottom of a barrel or bottom of a lunchbox with a cooling pack.
Yeah.
The guy handing you that is the same dude walking around giving Bumps and K for $10.
Oh, this is wild, guys. Okay, it's Novocaine is the brand name of a chemical called procaine. It's called that because I don't know if you've ever done cocaine, but it makes your nose numb when you do it.
Yeah.
It's basically that same effect because of the vasodilation, but it's like they inject it. It's like the same thing, but it doesn't have a euphoric effect. Like, it doesn't actually have like a... It just like...
So are people getting high off of Novocaine?
Well, no, they don't. Like, that's why they can use it. But it's not the same as like an anesthetic. It's like actually it's not like a nerve blocker. It's just something that like makes you go numb temporarily, like cocaine.
But that's why people will buy bulk, whether it be Novocaine or Lidocaine's much easier to get, but they'll buy, a 100-gram bag or a kilo of it, and they'll just cut a bunch of cocaine with calcium, baby laxatives, and either Lidocaine or Novocaine. So when people test a little bit of it, like put it on their lip, they're like, "Oh, this is really good because my whole face is numb," but it's like they're actually just numb because of Lidocaine or Novocaine.
Oh, it's Ellie.
Ellie just got home and the dogs are just freaking.
I thought that was
out.
the dog making that sound. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" It was like that's a human sound. Hi, Ellie.
People took white bread and they would take the center of the bread and roll it into these little balls essentially, and they would bake it in the oven at a really low temperature just so the bread would get hard but it wouldn't actually brown or change any color. And then they would take, so you have these dense little off-white balls of bread, and they would soak it in Orajel and then let it dry out. And they would sell it on the street as crack. And when crackheads would taste it, it would make their mouth numb, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is really good crack." And they would just buy it and leave. And they were just selling people white bread covered in Orajel, and they were soaking it.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's not fantastic, but
I wonder
Some of
what.
the shit that people come up with is just impressive.
I probably made their entire chest feel like you smoked an entire carton of menthol cigarettes all at one time.
I mean, they're smoking crack normally, so how different?
It probably hits definitely differently. It's probably just getting their chest numb, and they're like,
it's real
"Where's
crack.
my euphoric effect? I need my
Okay,
high!"
okay, we gotta do a test. Which is worse for your lungs? Which feels worse, a hit of bread or a hit of crack?
We'll find someone on the street to answer that question for us.
Hey, will you smoke this for us to tell us?
I mean, I have some friends that unfortunately would do that.
Well, you maybe be able to ask them if they've had that happen.
I could literally just be like, "Here, I procured this white bread covered in Orajel. Can you just try that out for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm already smoking crack, so what's a little bit on the top?"
We'll have to do an interview with this person at some point in time.
Yeah, they might do that anonymously.
We could give them a noise canceller. You could just take a video and then we'll edit out the video.
Like one of those those crime vid where
I was there, I saw everything. I saw everything, and I know he did it. And then he gets in a bad way, and you just have to listen to my story and not judge me as a person.
I watched a lot of that Gangland show when it was on TV, and I noticed that they use the same sound effect 1,000 times an episode. It's a dude yelling, and it's just
Wow.
it plays on every fucking cut. It's watching a show on Food Network. They have these like cymbal sounds that they play every transition. It's like, yeah, every transition, dude. It's maddening. Like I remember just all I can fucking hear every time I see a show now.
You're watching Hell's Kitchen and it's like do-do-do-do-do-do. And Bobby Flay is on the side over here with his mango salsa.
Yeah, it's something else.
I was that guy in band.
Order's been in quality check for like 3 minutes now. I'm starting to get uncertain.
It may be needing quality.
Hello, humans of the outside world.
Hello.
Hello, Russell Stover!
Mia.
How are you?
Hello, you! What are you doing? Hello. Sorry, really high.
Quick guess is my fiance Ellie.
Hello.
And this is Samson.
Sorry, no blunt for Russell.
No blunt for Russell.
Hi, did you miss me?
We were just talking about sounds you hear on TV shows. You know.
They're obnoxiously loud compared to the entirety of the commercial, or like what?
Like sounds that they put in there, like the cymbal rolls that you can hear in Food Network in between every scene.
Oh, they have a guy for that.
Yeah, they definitely have.
What's wrong with you? Damn it.
We'll probably be on in a little bit.
Okay. Well, you guys enjoy that. Here's your lighter. Hello, Seth.
I have a lighter.
Oh,
Thank you, baby.
you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Damn.
Love you.
Love you.
My delivery driver Rebecca is on the way.
So remember how I told you that last time you came here, nobody delivered out here?
Yeah.
Due to the pandemic, Grubhub delivers out here now.
Dude, that's the go.
And it's like, there's some places that I can get that I can't get anywhere else. Like we have this one place called Idealologies, which is a Mexican food place that we can get.
No, you keep going.
But
You're
they
like
can
The
grow.
Shining right now.
Yeah,
You know, Uber
Here's
is doing
Johnny.
free delivery right now.
is who?
Uber Eats is doing free delivery right now.
Yeah, but they don't deliver out here.
Oh, true.
Grubhub delivers out here, but not Uber Eats.
Due to the pandemic,
Uber.
people think dispensaries deliver now.
Due to the pandemic, people think that dispensaries are delivering now, and that's definitely not the case.
No, but if you want weed delivery, Craigslist.
Yeah, you get some guy to deliver for you.
You
It's
can get
sketchy,
Craigslist
but no,
delivery.
I've done it so many times. It's definitely sketchy, but I've done it so many times, and you'd be surprised. Like, you know, it's obviously it's just some fucking normal person bringing you weed, but like they'll bring a whole dispensary to you and just like, what do you want?
Oh, like for weed, not for like getting your asshole like licked or something.
I mean, you can still get that.
I'm sure that's also a thing.
That's cool that people can get weed on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get anything on Craigslist. You could still get people, and you can do hookups in cities on Craigslist.
I remember when I started working at that startup company.
Mm.
Yeah, when I was working there, I had a coworker. I can't remember her name anymore. She was this girl, and she like was talking about Tina one day, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you like. Who
Oh,
Tina
God.
is? And she explained to me that like Tina was like a nickname for meth, and she was like telling me that she would go on WhatsApp, and like you could just like openly like buy meth on this application. I think it was WhatsApp anyway, and it just surprised me so much. One, that people even do meth, like that has always been a culture shock to me. Same thing with like heroin, just like surprising to me. But then furthermore, like how normal it is in like Colorado and all the way out to like California, how normal it is for a person to have like done some meth intentionally before.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like it's almost like smoking weed. People are like, oh yeah, I've tried meth. I've smoked some meth before. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you've smoked some meth before?
That was a common conversation on the bus whenever I took the bus to work. People would be like, hey man, you want to buy a ball? And I'm like, nah man, I don't play sports. And they're like, no, I'm trying to sell you some ice. I'm just like, it's the middle of the night, where'd you get ice from? So I'm selling ice, fool. I'm just like,
I had a cooler or something.
What?
I don't know what you want me to do with that.
He's at work.
No, on the way home.
I'm just like, dude, I just got off of my job. I just
He's
made
at the
bison
office.
stuff all day. I'm trying to go home.
Like, I don't have an injury. I don't think I need ice anything right now. But I appreciate it. I hope that it doesn't melt before you can get rid of it.
I don't have a drink. I do not need any ice.
How'd you know I had whiskey in my bag? I'm not planning to drink it right now.
It's not open.
Do you even have any glasses?
No, not glass, man. Instead I got ice.
Did you just hear that?
No.
That sizzle?
No.
I think the audio picked it up. I just dropped the blunt in the empty reminisce of my cider, and I just went. Oh well. I think here is a natural spot for us to end the cast. Thank you guys.
Your wings are gonna be ready soon too.
Yeah, you're about to get
Here
wings.
Any second.
Dude,
Any second.
she was gonna come up to the door and you're just gonna be like.
Also, I have to pee so bad I'm gonna scream. Because I drank a lot of beer.
Well, on that note, thank you everybody for listening to our podcast. If you want to hear more from Russell, you can find him again at twitch.tv/Chet Lowry. That is CHET_LAORY. Does a lot of playthroughs. And tune in to hear us do another podcast again. Thank you guys. Stay safe, stay inside, and wash your fucking hands.